Okay, we are calculating slope. This is a very, very important skill that we're going to see throughout geometry, popping up in any of our graphing type problems, plotting on the coordinate plane, things like that. We need to know how to calculate slope. So first we need to know our slope formula, how to subtract the y values divided by subtracting the x values. We also need to figure out how to calculate slope when we're looking at the coordinate plane using rise over run. Let's take a look. Okay, so the directions say find the slope between the given points or on the graph. I have 6 problems where I'm going to give you 2 ordered pairs, and we're going to use our slope formula to figure out the slope. So the first ordered pair is 1, 3, and 5, 8. What we need to do to figure out the slope, we use the formula m equals, and then we do y sub 2 minus y sub 1, which means you take the second y value, okay, here in the first ordered pair, 1, 3, x sub 1, y sub 1. The second ordered pair would be x sub 2, y sub 2. We subtract the y's over subtracting the x's. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1, I'm going to use my mouse to go over and show you exactly which value. So y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So I'd start this by doing 8 minus 3 divided by, and then I subtract my x values, 5 minus 1. So x sub 2 minus x sub 1, 5 minus 1. Then we simplify this. 8 minus 3 is 5, 5 minus 1 is 4, and that's my slope, 5/4. I can't simplify it any further, and remember, we like to keep things in simplified improper fraction form. Next one, same exact idea. I'm just plugging my numbers in carefully. I'm doing y sub 2, so my y sub 2 is 4, minus my y sub 1, which is 7, so 4 minus 7. And in the denominator, I do x sub 2, 5, minus my x sub 1, which is negative 2. So that would look like 5 minus negative 2. 4 minus 7 is negative 3. 5 minus a negative 2 really means to do 5 plus 2, which is 7. And so my slope is negative 3/7. Next one, 1, negative 3, 0, 8. I do y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So 8 minus a negative 3 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1, so 0 minus 1. So now we know 8 minus negative 3, subtracting a negative really means to add, so this is really saying 8 plus 3, which is 11, divided by 0 minus 1, which is negative 1. 11 divided by negative 1 will leave us with negative 11, and that's my slope. Great. Next 3. Negative 1, negative 9, and 4, 0. So again, I'm following my same pattern. I'm doing y sub 2 minus y sub 1. So 0 minus negative 9 divided by 4 minus negative 1. 0 minus negative 9 really means 0 plus 9, which is 9. 4 minus negative 1 really means 4 plus 1, which is 5. Last 2. Y sub 2 minus y sub 1, so 8 minus 8, divided by negative 2 minus negative 8, so negative 2 minus negative 8. We know 8 minus 8 is just 0. Negative 2 minus a negative 8 really means negative 2 plus 8, and negative 2 plus 8 is 6. Now 0 divided by any number except for 0, so 0 divided by any non-zero number, is just 0. And that would mean the slope is actually of a horizontal line, like this. That is a slope of 0. Last one, negative 8 minus 9. And then in my denominator, negative 4 minus negative 4. Well, negative 8 minus 9 is negative 17. Negative 4 minus negative 4 really means negative 4 plus 4. And negative 4 plus 4 is 0. Now we know we're not allowed to divide by 0. And if I was to type that in my calculator, I'm going to get some kind of error message, or it may actually tell me you can't divide by 0. And so that's when we say the slope is undefined. And a line that has a slope that's undefined is a vertical line. Excellent. Last 2. So the last 2 problems we're going to take a look at are actually on graphs. I'm just going to move my screen here. Perfect. And we need to make sure that we know when we're looking at a graph, we could pick the ordered pairs out. We could write them down as the coordinates. We could do the same slope formula that we just did in the previous 6 problems. Or when we're looking at a graph and we see exact points, points that go through the crosshairs of the grid, so we can really see those ordered pairs, we can just simply calculate it by doing the rise over run. You see, in graphs, they either go up and to the right, or they go down and to the right. So I'm always calculating my slope from left to right. I'm working from my leftmost point to my rightmost point. That's what I always tell my students to do. And there's really nothing much more to it. So if I was looking at this first graph over here on the left, I see these 2 points that I plotted out already for you. If I was saying to you, how do you go from the left point to the right point? Well, the rise would be that I'm going up 2, and if I'm going up 2, it's a positive 2. And then I'm going to the right 1 unit. And when you go to the right on the coordinate plane, it's also positive. And so the rise over run for this graph is 2 over 1. And 2 over 1 is just 2. So that graph has a slope of 2. Whereas looking at the one on the right here, I see from left to right that my graph is decreasing. It's going downwards. So rise over run, I'm not going up and to the right. This case, I'm going down and then to the right. So I'm going down 1 unit. Now, when you go down 1 unit, that would not be a positive 1. That would be a negative 1. And then notice how many units I would have to go to the right. After I go down 1, I'd have to go to the right 1, 2, 3. And so my rise over run for that problem would be negative 1/3. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.